Hi guys, Dr. Dan here. Nice to see you again. Can you believe it's 1 week since I posted that first video on my YouTube channel? Unbelievable. Time flies by so quickly. What I want to talk about today is brain health. And I really want to bring in neuroplasticity, something called a critical period, and talk about how, if we are living with a neurocognitive disorder such as Alzheimer's disease or another form of cognitive change, how we can actually improve our memory and how we can really strengthen our brain. And people who aren't living with a cognitive change, we can also use these exercises that I'm going to talk about to prevent our risk of going on to develop any kind of change in our brain and our memory. So let's talk a little bit about neuroplasticity first. It's a word that we hear a lot about nowadays. A lot of people talk about neuroplasticity, especially in neurology. So what is it? It's basically the way that the brain and the neuronal circuitry in the brain can change and reorganize itself. So it really means that no matter where we are in our journey through cognitive change, we can still do two things. One is we can relearn lost skills. And secondly, we can learn new skills. We can learn and retain new memories, new information, new knowledge. So that's an absolutely fantastic, wonderful thing. And I have something called the rule of 7 that helps us achieve that. But first, I want to talk about this critical period. From about the age of, from being born up until about 12 or 13 years of age, we used to believe there was a critical period where we could learn information, especially language. So in linguistics, they believe that between that period of being born and 12, 13 years, you can learn lots of different languages. And we see that in kids that are exposed to different cultures. So in England, for example, where a lot of Indian people might live, they speak their native language and they also speak English. So by the time the kids are about 2, he or she can speak 2 different languages or sometimes even 3 different languages. So it's very interesting that we see that. But we used to believe that that would stop when you get to about 12 or 13 because those are the critical periods. However, there's nothing definite about that, and research hasn't really demonstrated that that critical period stops ever. So my assumption in creating the rule of 7 is that the critical period continues throughout life. There are always opportunities and chances to relearn new information, to retain it, and then to find it and bring it out. So I'm working with quite a few people who are still studying a different language. They're learning Spanish or French or German, and they're in their 70s and they have either a movement disorder or a neurocognitive disorder, and they're still managing to learn a new language. So that's fantastic, because one of the things in neurology we talk about are 2 things. One is the importance of maintaining social interaction. So as we all know, as we get older, our world can sometimes start to shrink. People we know move away, people die, all our life changes, our social circles get smaller and smaller, and that's one of the things that we believe is part of why people develop a neurocognitive disorder. So maintain that, maintain social networks, maintain friendships, keep doing things, keep going places, keep learning new things. Because the second thing we believe is that if you learn something new, like a new language or a new instrument, a new musical instrument or something like that, or build on existing skills in that area, that is also something that strengthens the neural networks. So I want to talk about the rule of 7. And the rule of 7 really talks about doing something different each day. 7 days in the week, Monday through Sunday. And you'll only spend maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes doing those things. doing that one particular activity. And it has a major impact, positive impact on your brain. So let's look at Monday. We start the week on a Monday by learning a new word. We learn how to read it, we learn how to pronounce it, we learn how to spell it, we learn its definition. And we keep relearning, we keep repeat. And this is how we lay down new neuronal pathways in the brain. So in order to lay down a new memory, we have to keep repeating until we get it. And until we can just retain it and retrieve it. So that's your Monday, learn a new word. On a Tuesday, use your non-dominant hand for about 15 minutes each day. So when you get up in the morning, use your non-dominant hand to brush your hair, brush your teeth, maybe fasten buttons, write your name, use your computer mouse, use your text messaging, use your left hand. Don't include your non-dominant hand. Don't include your dominant hand in any of this. Just use your non-dominant hand. For people who are ambidextrous, and there are a number of people out there who are, and I'm one of them, but with my feet. I'm not ambidextrous with my hands, but I am with my feet. I'm right-handed, so I use my right hand all the time. So if you are ambidextrous in your hands, one of them will be the weakest one. So use and focus on the weakest one. On a Wednesday, let's learn a new limerick. And again, you have to keep learning it, keep repeating it, have it written down, look at it, look at the words, and just keep repeating until you got it. And you will eventually get it. So now we're on to Thursday. What are we going to do on Thursday? Learn something that is a series. For example, a series of aircraft, different types of aircraft, a series of different types of cars, horses, anything that gives you a series of or a group of. And just don't do any more than 6. Do 6. So you might learn 6 different horse breeds, for example, or 6 different vehicles, 6 different aircraft, 6 different ships, 6 different stars and constellations. Whatever it is that you are interested in, do that. On Friday, I want you to read something, just a paragraph, on a subject you know absolutely nothing about. So it could be quantum physics. If you don't know anything about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, take a paragraph, read it, and kind of understand it. Don't just read it, but read it until you understand the basic concept of that subject. What has happened from time to time is that people have done this and they've found something of interest and they've gone on and developed it as a hobby. One thing I can think about is a guy who didn't know anything about photography, and so he read some information about photography and he got hooked, and now that's his hobby, photography. So do that on a Friday. On Saturday, I want you to, let me see, you can do on a Saturday. Do something yourself. Choose your own thing on Saturday. Okay, let it happen. Just choose whatever you want to do on Saturday for about 15 minutes. Examples could be sketching, painting, drawing something, doing some modeling, creating models and things like that. So there's some examples, but choose what you're going to do yourself on the Saturday. On Sunday, I want you to read an article in the newspaper. Make it a good, positive article. Don't read negative news. Don't even introduce negative news into your thought processes. Focus on something that is positive that's happening in the news. Something good. Something that's really exciting and happy. So those are 7 things. They're my rule of 7. And they are pretty much examples. So as long as you follow the main theme, you can choose whatever you want to do within those main themes. And you will find within a very short space of time that you could have created a new hobby for yourself, found a new interest for yourself. You will have strengthened your memory, and you will have a much stronger brain So that's what I want you to do. And that covers neuroplasticity, that covers a critical period and the rule of 7. Anybody got any comments, please feel free to post them. Anybody got any questions, please feel free to post them and we'll get around to responding to them. My website, drdanielnightingale.com. You know the YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. Please, please, please share these videos. They're free, they're educational. Please share them with people and ask them to subscribe to my channel, because each Wednesday when the video is posted, you will be notified. All subscribers are notified of a new video being posted. So please share it. Have a fantastic week. I believe Labour Day weekend is coming up, so have a great holiday. And I'll catch you next week, and I will be posting on Instagram what next week's subject will be. So take care. Bye, guys.